Morning. This live reminds me of that song. Now, there's John in the background, so he'll probably laugh at this stuff. There's a song that was around during the Vietnam War that was going, "There's something happening here." And there is something's going on. I don't really know what it is, but there's something happening. And it's not happening in the physical world. It's happening in the metaverse. Have you ever heard of NFTs? Do you know what that means? Because I didn't, but I've been reading about it. And the reason why I wanted to read about it was because it was only the other day that John sent me tagged me in on something on Instagram. And it was a post that someone had put to say a yacht was sold for $650,000. Now, you might be thinking, well, a yacht? That seems like quite a bargain for $650,000. And this was a mega yacht, by the way. It was classed as a mega yacht. I mean, look at anybody who owns a mega yacht. They're hundreds of millions of dollars. This was $650,000. Bargain of the century. However, there is a catch. You can't sail it in the real world. Why? Because it only exists in the sandbox, which is the metaverse. Yet someone paid actual money. So if you got $650,000 or the pound equivalent in your account, that money has now left your account, turned into crypto, and then you've bought an NFT. Yeah. So there's something going on, and we need to get on board. Now, I've been learning fast. I've got blue tack, by the way, so I like to play around with blue tack when I'm rambling or reading or talking, because it just I don't know what that is. I'm sure someone can probably say why you play with blue tack. It's not a nervous thing, but it's just every time I see blue tack, I just have to pick it up. But this isn't about blue tack; it's about NFTs. So I've been pulling some information together, and I'm going to look to you guys and then look down at my screen, because I'm going to go back and forth talking about what I've found. And then I'm going to share my screen because I've found some cool stuff as well. So I'll show you the actual sandbox, which is only one of multiple metaverses. And then I will show you something called OpenSea, which is where you can buy NFTs. Right? You with me? Okay, let's get on with this. So, NFTs and virtual space. Do you know what NFT stands for? I didn't either. But it stands for non-fungible token. Now, if you remember any days of economics, that's fungible and non-fungible. It's something that's been around for a while, but I've never really heard in normal conversation someone go, "Oh yeah, that's an NFT." And then a 15-year-old kid go, "Oh, I know what that is. It's a gorilla that's got a cap on back to front and he's smoking a joint. Is it? And it's worth 80 grand. What?" Anyway, let's go on. Right, so you've got non-fungible, and more or less means that it's unique and can't be replaced with something else. So, for example, a Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency, is fungible. So you trade one for another Bitcoin, and you'll have exactly the same thing. So I have one Bitcoin, you have one Bitcoin, we swap it, got the same thing. It's fungible. Right. However, a one-of-a-kind trading card, you've seen trading cards, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, all that lot, is non-fungible. So if you traded that card for a different card, you'd have something altogether different. So you might be thinking, well, is this to do with IP? And in some ways, yes. So that is what an NFT is. That's what it stands for, a non-fungible token. Now, if you're like me, you've probably read that or heard that and then went, what? I'm none the wiser. How does it work? There's more. So how does it work? So at a very high level, most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain. Now, I did some reading about what the blockchain is, and it's I'd say it's really boring, but it's also really important because you need to understand, not in terms of actually how the blockchain works, but you need to understand the blockchain to understand then NFTs and in some ways the metaverse. Not that you need an NFT to be in the metaverse, but I'll explain that. But the blockchain, very, very, very quickly, is something that the banks have been doing for centuries. So, for example, John's in the office today. Let's say I want to sell him this mouse, and that mouse is £5. Now, I'll say that's £5. I'll give him my PDQ machine. He'll go to blip his debit card or credit card or whatever it might be, and the bank will then his bank will look at his account and go, right, let me see your ledger. This is what's gone in. This is what's come out. You want to pay £5. Obviously, this is happening very quickly. You've got £5 approved transaction. Great. That bank then talks to my bank and says £5 incoming. My bank then says, great, accepted that £5, put it on my ledger, confirmed. So that's nothing new. But what the blockchain is this is a public ledger. And you've got millions of computers from all over the place constantly checking and updating the ledger. And I don't mean computers as in I'm talking on this computer now or the one that's on your desk. They're tiny computers, but they're doing tiny calculations and they're keeping the blockchain updated and secure. So arguably the blockchain is, I won't say it's unhackable because we've seen cryptos that have been stolen, but it is definitely the future in terms of when it comes to IP and where you sit your NFTs once you've bought them. But again, I'll explain that. So let me just go back to that line again. At a very high level, most NFTs are part of the Ethereum blockchain. Ethereum is a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Dogecoin, but it's the blockchain that also supports these NFTs, which store extra information that makes them work differently from, say, the Ethereum coin. Okay, if you're none the wiser than I am, but we're getting there. So this is where it starts to get interesting now. So we're going to talk about why would you have an NFT? Why would you buy one? So what's worth picking up at an NFT supermarket, for example? So I'm going to read some stuff. So NFTs can be anything digital, such as a drawing, music, your brain downloaded and turned into AI. But a lot of current excitement is around digital art. And this is where it gets insane. So bear with me. Now, you can copy a digital file as many times as you want, including the art that's included with an NFT. But NFTs are designed to give you something that can't be copied. So, for example, to put it in terms of physically collecting art, anyone can buy a Monet print. You could go on Amazon right now and buy a Monet print, but only one person can own the original. And that's similar to NFTs. So you own the IP to that. But anybody can go on Google. I mean, when I talk about what the artist sold people, you could, and I highly recommend you Google it to see the value of this thing. You can download it, you can stick it up on your wall in your bedroom, who cares? But the actual person that bought it, they own the IP for that. So there's a Gucci Ghost, which is an NFT, which is $3,500. And again, I'll show you what all this means. But there was an image that was sold at Christie's. Now, Christie's is an institution when it comes to art dealerships. I mean, these guys have been around for God knows how long, but they sell really high value pieces of art. I mean, exclusive art, tens and tens and tens, if not in the close to the hundreds of millions of dollars in value of art. So you wouldn't think that Christie's would sell digital art. And that's the key thing, it's digital art. It's not physical. It's not like that sign I've got behind me. It's digital art. So listen to this. So until October, a chap called Mike Winkelmann who goes by the name of Beeple, that's Beeple, who's a digital artist, had only ever sold print art for $100. So up until October, Beeple, the artist, had only ever sold print for $100. He sold, only recently, a piece of art, digital art, as an NFT for 69 million, that's million with a capital M, dollars. Someone paid $69 million for a piece of digital art. Google it, have a look at it. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's beautiful. I think it's from memory, it's a collage of all his work. It's quite a political activist, his Beeple, but it's quite, some of the art is quite extreme. So he made a collage. I think it's called The First 5,000 Days. Correct me if I'm wrong, it might be The First 500 Days. So someone's, again, just bear in mind what's happening here. So someone's obviously very wealthy. They've accumulated wealth in some way, whatever way they've accumulated wealth. Maybe the same way that you might be watching this. You might be sat on a load of money in your bank. That's it, it's not real because obviously it's not sat in a bank somewhere. It's only in ones and zeros on a screen. But you know what I mean in terms of you can go into your banking app and see that money's in your account. So this person took $69 million of said funds, converted that into Ethereum, which is a cryptocurrency, and then transferred that to Beeple with a value of $69 million. So what's happening here? Call it a bubble, call it whatever, but you don't just pay $69 million on a whim. You don't. These are not stupid people that are doing this. These are very switched on people, and there's something going on in terms of NFTs and virtual space and the metaverse that I think we need to start looking at. This was a fascinating one. Do you know who Jack Dorsey is? He was the CEO of Twitter until only recently. I think it was this week. So obviously if you're watching this back, it was last week in November in 2021. He resigned from Twitter. I don't know why. But he did a tweet on the 22nd of March in 2006. So, CEO of Twitter. Twitter's live. Right. What's my first tweet going to be? Just setting up my Twitter. That was his tweet. Now, he's a very rich man, is Jack Dorsey. Billionaire now. But back in 2006, do you think that he thought this tweet that I'm now going to tweet is going to be turned into an NFT and someone's going to pay $3 million for it? $3 million for a tweet. But hell, if you're Donald Trump, you must be looking at this going, ooh, some of the tweets I put out are probably worth 20p. Who knows? So, for example, so what you know, why is this important? Why do we care? You know, if you're an artist or a creative person, why should you be interested in NFTs? So, if you think about it, if you create a, I don't know, like a cool digital sticker or something creative, digital that you've made, you know what you're going to do with that? Are you going to go sell it on, you know, iMessenger, App Store? You know, you're not going to get a lot of money for that. No, you're not. You're going to log on to OpenSea. You're going to create an account. You're going to turn it into an NFT. And if it's unique and people see it as valuable, which is ultimately how you get value out of anything, art, for example, we all deem it to be valuable. It's the collective that makes something valuable like art. So let's say, for example, you've made a digital sticker and everybody who views that sees that as valuable. You then sell it as an NFT You might be lucky enough to get some interest. You might be lucky enough to stoke up the value of that. And then before you know it, you've made a fortune. And then someone's got that on their... Oh, hang on. I was going to say someone's got that on their wall in their house in the Metaverse, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, think about this in a different way. So let's say you sold that digital art, but then where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that I really wanted to mention, was NFTs have a feature that you can enable that will pay you a percentage every time the NFT is sold or change hands. So that makes it really popular once it starts to balloon in value. So you might be thinking, going, well, I've sold my cool sticker for, I don't know, let's say 500 quid. And you go, okay, I've sold it for 500 quid. And then you see that sticker 4 months down the line get sold for 500 grand. And you go, oh, that's a shame. You could get a percentage of that. And then again, and then again, and then again. You think Beeble, $69 million, I mean, he's extremely wealthy. Who knows where that's going to get flipped to? $690 million? For example, if you're a buyer, so if you think about it, that's from an artist's point of view. If you're a buyer, now it says here that buying an NFT also usually gets you some basic rights, like being able to post the image online or set it up as your profile picture, plus, of course, the bragging rights that you own the art within the blockchain, and you've got a blockchain entry to show it. Now, again, let's say you've got $69 million and the Mona Lisa comes on the market. I think it'd be probably worth more than $69 million, but let's say it is. And you're sat there and you're looking at it going, I could buy the Mona Lisa and I've actually got a physical asset. Something I can put on my wall in my actual real world house. So that's, for example, in here, I could put it on the wall behind me and I've got the Mona Lisa there. Yes, I paid $69 million for it, but you know it's only going to appreciate in value because it's extremely rare and we all deem it to be valuable, which ultimately is what gives it its worth. Arguably, it's just a couple of brush strokes on a canvas, but it's more than that, as we know. Artists will probably go, no, it's more than that. It's what it makes you feel. It's a subjective nature. Art imitating art imitating art. Went off down a tangent then. So you've got the Mona Lisa on your wall. You take your $69 million and you buy Beeble's collage for $69 million. What do you get for that? You get a digital file. Yeah. What if you lock your account out? What if your computer gets stolen? What if you haven't got it secured? I mean, you could argue that's a piece of art on the wall. That something could happen to that, but we need to get away from that thinking of it's a physical asset. This is a digital asset. So Beeble sold some more work. Let's keep this trend going from a buyer point of view now. So if you think from an artist and you're talking about it from a buyer point of view, so the artist, Beeble, sold a piece of work for $66,669.66. Obviously, there's some irony there in that cost. 66,666,66. The buyer sold the art 4 months later. 4 months later, for $6.6 million. 66,000 invested for a $6.6 million return, obviously minus what he invested, but yeah. Now, can you buy this video I'm making now as an NFT? Would you wanna? But yeah, I could turn it into a still and I'll explain that and then sell it. But technically, anything can be sold as an NFT. Let's get some tea. Some tea is NFT. I mean, the fact that I'm wearing a card, it just tells you how serious this is. So you've got New York Times articles that are being sold as NFTs, and they range in price from $1,800 to $500,000. Deadmau5 also sold tickets and animated stickers. William Shatner, something It's on the plane. I can't do it. Anyway, William Shatner has sold Shatner. Oh, that's not really good to put together at 7:30 in the morning. William Shatner has sold Shatner-themed trading cards, one of which was apparently an X-ray of his teeth. I mean, now this is a fascinating one. Do you know who Logan Paul is? If you're under the age of 35, you probably do. If you're over the age of 35 like me, you only know him to moan about him because he's ruining certain things for us, like boxing. He's a love and hate sort of guy. He's a YouTuber. But the reason why I'm mentioning him in this video is because he made a video on YouTube, because he's a YouTuber, unboxing $1 million Pokemon box. You get these Pokemon boxes, and extremely rare are these boxes, and it's $1 million. And he's unboxing it and he's showing what's inside it. Very interesting if you're into that sort of. I mean, this isn't just. Don't think of it as a geeky point of view of going, oh, it's just a Pokemon card. It's not. It's an asset. Think like that. This is currency. This is an asset. This is something that is going to drive up in value. It's not just a trading card, and it's not geeks playing it in their room. This is really important economic value that can be driven both in terms of yourself, but also wherever you want to point that. Now he made that video. He took some stills, let's call it screenshots of that video, turned it into an NFT, sold it for 20 grand. Now, there's already games out there that let you have NFTs as items. So for those of you watching this who are gamers, you might play COD, you might play Grand Theft Auto, whatever it might be, and you go through the levels and you win certain, guns or cars or skins or anything. But they're all anybody could win it. To be honest, if you're good enough at the game, anybody can have it. But you could then buy unique things for your avatar in the metaverse as NFTs, which is where the flex, in terms of what kids say, look at the flex, and they could really appreciate how an NFT works and obviously drive up the value. So you could, and I'm going to show you, you could have a character, your avatar, and that avatar you want to kit out. So you want it to look a certain way. You might want him to have a trusty companion, and that companion can be anything. It might be a T-Rex or whatever you want it to be. You could have 6 heads, doesn't matter. But let's say you're playing the game and then you see the next character and they've got a T-Rex with 6 heads. You go, well, that's not, you've got sort of the same, you pick the same options as me. But what if that T-Rex with 6 heads was an NFT? No one's going to have that. You're going to be the only one that has that, which is what makes it valuable. Now, we can't talk about NFTs without talking about the Metaverse. So let me explain some stuff around the Metaverse. I'm going to read some stuff here. This is from Wired Magazine. Let me just make sure that my camera's still on streaming. Yes, we are. So to help you get a sense of how vague and complex the term Metaverse can be, there's an exercise to try. Mentally replace the phrase, the Metaverse, in a sentence with cyberspace. 90% of the time, the meaning won't substantially change. That's because the term doesn't really refer to any one specific type of technology, but rather a broad shift in how we interact with the technology, which is key. And it's entirely possible that the term itself will eventually become just as antiquated as even the specific technology it once described becomes commonplace. So, for example, there was a line in here that sort of really took me aback, whereas it says, when you're playing in the Metaverse, it combines aspects of the digital and the physical world, but the Metaverse is a continuous world. So what I mean by that is, let's say you're playing a computer, you're playing Fortnite, and you're playing away with your friends, and then you come offline and you go do whatever you're going to do. That game then stops, doesn't it? And it picks up where you left off. But in the metaverse, it's different. So in the metaverse, it continues. So you park your character somewhere. Let's say you put him in your house, and outside there was an argument going on between two characters. This is just obviously made up. By the time you come back 2 days later, there's been a riot and everything's burnt down. That's the whole... Think Ready Player One here. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to get Ready Player One in the next 5-10 years, but that's where it's going. And let me explain what I mean by the metaverse. So I'm going to share my screen. Let me go on to something called Sandbox. Right, okay. So where are we? And I'm just going to zoom into this. I'm going to zoom right now. Yeah, why are you doing that? Okay. So. Okay, so you should be able to see that. Just double check and make sure you can. Yes, you can. Excellent. So this is the metaverse here. This is one of the games. It's called the Sandbox. And within this map here, this is land. So this is actual land within this game that you can buy. So you can buy that little square, and I'll show you how and why that's important. But this is that there's only going to be so much land available within the sandbox, and what makes land valuable, as we know, what makes land valuable is the location, the size, the scarcity of land. It's like very much it's real life. So you might be thinking, well, why would I go into a game such as Sandbox here, and why would I buy land? What's the point in doing that? Why would I do that? Well, there's many reasons why you do that. So for setting up a business, you could buy a piece of land within the sandbox, for example, which many companies have. I mean, for example, Nike have got a piece of land within Roblox. They've got the head office there. And that business operates within the metaverse. So you can go into your business, you can try stuff on, you can change clothes, you can transact, you can meet people, you can have a party there, you can do whatever you want. But that is a business that actually exists and is creating jobs in the real world to operate within the metaverse. You know, have events and parties, so invite people to your land. For example, you've got this, you see this, let me go back on the map. Got Snoop here. Snoop D-O-double-G. So he's creating a concert in the sandbox. And you buy you buy tickets, NFTs, to be able to go and watch Snoop Dogg perform. I mean, you can see his avatar. You see his avatar there on the right? That's Snoop Dogg in the metaverse performing for people in the sandbox. Yeah. And that's actual money he's being paid for that. So games and experiences, and indeed making that land your home within the metaverse. So you can buy land and you can turn it into your house. But it's all about experiences. And where the sandbox is really interesting is it's the creators that make the content. So it's not like you have Minecraft people making Minecraft parts of the game. You've got people, all these people here that you can see coming on your screen now. So this is the full map of the sandbox. Look at this. Look at this. You've got Atari here. You've got The Walking Dead. So this is an experience here. Is the Walking Dead experience. And let's just zoom in on this. So, because I want to explain something. So do you remember when I said before, buying land in the metaverse, you need to think of it as buying land in real life? So what makes land expensive in real life or valuable? People who buy land or construction companies that build properties will know this. It's been around. It's been around since the dawn of man. When we started to build things, there's been these sort of 3, now there's 4 elements that make land expensive. So location is key, obviously. If you're buying a house in Zone 1 in London, your second name better be Musk, or you're not even looking at it. Size. So you're buying a 4-bedroom, you're buying a 12-bedroom house, what are you buying? Scarcity. So how many plots of land is available? How many houses are available in that area? Now, arguably, those 3 boxes there, you tick, 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 you've got a very expensive piece of land. But the 4th one is game popularity within the metaverse. So let's just go back to this. So we've got The Walking Dead here. So this is an experience. I'm walking around my map here. And this is an experience within that world. Now, what if I owned that little bit of land there? That little bit of land. Coordinates, -36, -34. That would be very expensive. And I'm going to show you how expensive this land can be because it's so close to the action. So again, location, scarcity, size, game popularity, tick, 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 and tick. And you might be thinking, well, okay, I'm interested. I don't really understand it, but I'm interested. How do I do this then? How do I buy something? So let's have a look. So let's go to market. So for example, I just jumped on here to buy something. You can see at the top it says, welcome to the NFT market space. And here you've got a number of avatars. You can see the value. That's in dollars, by the way. Nearly $10,000 for that dude. But let's go to land. We want to buy some land. I want to be a land owner in the sandbox. I want to be a tyrant. Captain of industry. So you can see here it's taking me to somewhere called OpenSea. So let me stop sharing that. And then I will share the OpenSea. Here we go. So do you remember before I said you had the other one was -34, -36. You got 35. So these are all grid locations within that map that we've just seen. So I can buy these pieces of land, the little dots that you see there. I can buy that. So, should we go see how much it is? Yeah? Feeling benevolent. Okay. Let's click on this. There you go. Yeah. But that's cheap. Very cheap. In terms of the world of NFTs. Let's have a look a bit more. Let's change the price. Let's go high to low. Let's see what comes up. Right, there you go. Look at this. So I'm right next to some key experiences here. Right in the middle of the action. So my piece of land there is going to be extremely valuable. Remember those 4 boxes that we wanted to tick. So location, size, scarcity, and game popularity. Tick, 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 and tick. So let's have a look and see how much this is if you want to buy it right now. How about this one? Insane. Absolutely insane. Now, you might be thinking, I mean, let's go let's go a little bit cheaper. Let's say, look at this. This is right next to an experience. I don't know what that experience is, but it looks cool. There you go. I just want to pay $2 million for this, and you can see the trades that are happening. So you can buy this right now. Boom, 2 million. That's mine. And let's say I've done that. I haven't, but let's say I have. And I wanted to then build on that land. So I'm going to show you something now, which is quite cool. And go back to the sandbox. There we go. So I wanted to build something in my land. Now, the cool thing about the sandbox is you might be thinking, well, you've bought your land. It's like me buying a piece of land right now and then going, well, I'm not a builder. I'm not a plumber. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a carpenter. I don't know how to build. I've got the land, yeah, but I need someone to come and build something for me. Not so much in the metaverse. You know, you can do that. You can do that. You can hire or you can pay developers to come and build on your land to create an experience that people would pay to come and use. But you can do it yourself. So you've got Game Maker, you've got the Vox editor here. So it teaches you how to make, here we go, look at this, Nft Creator. So here you can make, it teaches you how to make your NFTs for your game, and you can even then sell your NFTs back on OpenSea. And then you've got your avatar creator here. So this is where, I said before, you make a character, which is very much for you. So let's say, in the interest of time, I'm going to go for Acid Charlie. And then I'm going to change his hair to, let's change him to Timberjack. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this guy. Great guy. And let's put him in a leather jacket. Okay, there we go. And let's go for some giraffe ties. Wow. And sneaker boots. So this is the avatar now. Now this avatar will walk around the game. So my avatar will, he can do stuff. He can go and earn money for me. He can go on experiences. He can go to pay to do experiences. You name it, he can do it. But he looks the way he does. Not that unique, because again, you should remember, anybody can click that. I've just made that guy there. Anybody else could come and do the same thing. But now I'll leave that. I don't need him. Maybe I want to buy stuff or change stuff for him. So you've got all sorts of equipment here. So there you go. Look, I want to give him a sword. So I'll give him that sword. Now I need to buy this sword, again through crypto, to give him the sword, and then he's got that for him. And same with anything else really. I want to make unique for him. I can spec him out in any way, shape, or form. Or I can just buy one of these which has already been done. You can see where you can start to spend some money here. As I said before, look, you've got Snoop Dogg here. He's already sold out. He's already sold it out. He's already sold out his concert. And The Walking Dead, do you remember that experience I told you before? Look. Popular TV series. Popular game. It will be anyway. And what did I'm sure I saw Atari. Let's see what Atari are doing. Look at this. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right. Stop sharing now. I've been talking for nearly 40 minutes. What? Oh, I've got some questions. Let's have a look. Let's see what people are saying. So, presumably this means that artists receive the credit for their work with NFTs and receive payment rather than being a free-for-all once it's out there on the web. Yes, if it's sold as an NFT, yes, because as I said, you buy the NFT, the IP is yours, and it's locked in on the blockchain. Nobody else owns that. Now, obviously, you can copy it, people do copy stuff, don't they? But in terms of ownership, that's yours. And then you can use it as you see fit. You can either use it in the sandbox, depending on what the NFT is. You can have that $69 million piece of art from Beeble hanging up in your mansion, in your house, in the metaverse, which is the sandbox, on your $650,000 yacht. And this is just the beginning. MKL, we're now looking to buy some land within the sandbox. There are other metaverses as well. The sandbox does seem to get a lot more traction. You've got some big names on there. As I said before, you've got Snoop Dogg performing on there. You've got people selling yachts for $650,000. This is the way it's going, and it's going that way very quickly. So I would argue, and I would recommend you go and have a look at the NFT world. It is risky, like anything, and it is a bubble. But if you think about the .com boom in the 2000s, that was a bubble, and the bubble burst. But were we then left without the internet? No. We still use that. And arguably, you can see this happening now with the NFTs in the metaverse. The metaverse is it's a long way off from being perfect, if it ever will be perfect. But the key to the metaverse is I like to call it interdimensional. So that avatar that I created before, that avatar can walk in between worlds and still be me, unique to me. And if you think about it from a unique point of view, anybody can be what they want to be, and especially within the metaverse. If you want to express yourself in any way you can, if you've got the cash, then you can do that. But this is where the economy and the money is going. There's going to be jobs created in the metaverse. If you're watching this and you've got young kids, the jobs that they're going to do don't even exist yet. And they will probably be working in the metaverse. Think about it. Do you want to buy some land for them? Do you want to create a house for them there that they can live? I know this all sounds very weird, but read up about it, educate yourself. Maybe look to buy something with whatever means you can. Don't stretch yourself too far. And have some fun with it, because it's gamification as well. It's not like I'm buying a piece of art and I can stand there and go, yeah, and flex to all my friends. I'm doing it in the metaverse where I'm killing zombies in The Walking Dead, and then I'm going to go back and sit on my yacht and look at my $69 million Beeble artwork. Amazing. So yeah, I'm going to end it now because there's going to be calls going on in the office at 8 o'clock. I hope this was helpful. Please comment, and if you'd like me to do anything more, because I'm going to learn about NFTs more and more. If you want me to document it and talk more about what I find, what the buying process was like when we go to buy it, how complicated it was, how do you set up a digital wallet, how do you convert your real money to the crypto that is needed to buy the NFT, and then you buy in the NFT, and where do you store the NFT? Let me know, and I'll happily do it. But have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.